The Celtics just torched their championship core, and it's not over yet. In the span of just 48 hours, the Boston Celtics have dismantled the very spine of their roster. What began as a mild cap-clearing effort has erupted into a full-blown purge. Jrue Holiday gone, Kristaps Porzingis shipped off. And it's not just the names that sting, it's what it all signals. Boston isn't just reshaping, it's detonating. Tuesday's three-team trade sent shockwaves across the league. Kristaps Porzingis, once seen as the missing piece to Boston's frontcourt puzzle, is now heading to the Atlanta Hawks. Along with him, a second-round pick, just enough sweetener to get his $30.7 million off Boston's books. In return, the Celtics received Georgia's Niang, a role player with a modest ceiling, and another second-rounder. Not exactly a headline grabber until you realize what it means. This wasn't about basketball, it was about money. The night before, Jrue Holiday had already been jettisoned to Portland for Anthony Simons and future draft compensation. Holiday, a two-way guard and critical playoff performer, was set to earn $32.4 million next season. Add his future salaries, and Boston just wiped over $100 million in potential liabilities off their future books in one move. These back-to-back trades didn't just tweak the Celtics roster, they chopped $180 million in projected luxury tax penalties. That's the price Boston was staring down simply for trying to keep a championship-caliber team together under the NBA's newly tightened financial rules. And ownership blinked. With Tatum expected to miss the entire 2025-26 season due to a devastating Achilles tear, Boston seems to have made its choice: preserve financial flexibility over chasing another title in a lost season. And that makes these moves feel more like surrender than strategy. Forget the parade. Just a year after raising banner number 18, Boston is unraveling piece by piece. The window they fought so hard to pry open is now at risk of slamming shut. These aren't just trades, they're fractures. And if you listen closely, you can hear the echoes of something Celtics fans never wanted to face again: a rebuild. And here's the worst part: it might not be over. The second tax apron is a monster that still looms large. Boston is still $7.4 million above the first apron and $15.4 million over the luxury tax line. Cutting deeper might be the only option left. Derrick White, Al Horford, Payton Pritchard. No one is safe. The front office can spin it however they want. But when you ship out two of your highest impact veterans in less than 24 hours and get back zero star power in return, the writing is on the wall. This isn't just a cost-cutting maneuver, it's the start of a slow collapse. According to Dan Woke of The Athletic, the Los Angeles Lakers have zero interest in calling the Boston Celtics about a trade for Kristaps Porzingis, and that alone says a lot. The NBA's most iconic rivalry, dead quiet. Why? Because Boston is on fire, and not in a good way. Late Monday night, around 10:30 p.m. Eastern, Brad Stevens dropped a bombshell. Jrue Holiday was being sent to the Portland Trail Blazers in exchange for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks. The move came out of nowhere, no leaks, no build-up, just silence, followed by a shocking report. No one expected Portland to be the landing spot. And frankly, no one expected Stevens to make this kind of move either. Why the sudden deal? Simple: money, cold, brutal financial pressure. Holiday's exit has been looming for weeks as Boston scrambles to dodge the NBA's dreaded second tax apron, a financial hell zone that punishes teams for daring to keep elite rosters intact. Names like Dallas and the Clippers were in the rumor mill. Portland wasn't even on the radar. That silence wasn't strategic. It was desperation. And here's the kicker: the Celtics saved a measly $4.9 million with this trade. That's it. They still need to slash another $18 million. Just to avoid triggering the harshest penalties under the league's new CBA. We're talking about a franchise that just won a championship, and now it's tearing itself apart piece by piece just to stay financially afloat. This isn't just about losing Jrue, it's about unraveling a title team at its peak. It's about the front office valuing balance sheets over banners. And if this is just the beginning, Celtics fans better buckle up. The Boston Celtics just pulled off a trade masterstroke, while Portland might have lit a match to their own future in a league where financial flexibility is king and leverage is everything. The Boston Celtics just pulled off what can only be described as daylight robbery. Not only did they offload Jrue Holiday's massive $104.4 million contract, which still had 3 years remaining, but they also got assets in return: 2 second-round picks and Anthony Simons from the Trailblazers. Let that sink in. Let's be real. Most execs around the league assumed Boston would have to attach picks to get rid of Holiday. His age, his mileage, and his price tag made him more of a financial time bomb than a trade chip. But Brad Stevens flipped that script entirely, again, and walked away with cap relief and a talented offensive weapon. This wasn't a cleanup move. This was a calculated financial and roster realignment that could define the next phase of Celtics basketball. Simons, still just 25, has a year left on his deal, which means Boston now controls an attractive asset, a young, high-scoring guard, who can either be extended or flipped for someone with a smaller cap hit. It's chess, not checkers, especially as Boston scrambles to navigate the brutal second apron penalties. Meanwhile, over in Portland, the logic behind this move is elusive, baffling even. The Blazers just handed over one of their few legitimate offensive engines, a player they developed for years, in exchange for an aging veteran whose contract is toxic under their current circumstances. Jrue Holiday is an elite defender and a respected leader, sure, but does that justify sacrificing Simons and draft capital right now? According to Sean Highkin, the Blazers no longer see themselves as a rebuilding team. That's their prerogative. But when you look at the timeline of Scoot Henderson, who still hasn't shown he can lead an NBA offense, this reeks of desperation. This is the kind of move front offices make when they're trying to save their own skin, not build a sustainable contender. Aaron Fentress reported that GM Joe Cronin and head coach Chauncey Billups are both walking a tightrope. Ownership could change soon. Another 50-loss season might be their last. In that light, acquiring a veteran like Holiday might get them closer to a play-in spot, but at what long-term costs? Even more concerning, Holiday reportedly isn't thrilled. Steve Bulpett revealed that sources close to the player say he's not happy about landing in Portland. His professionalism isn't in doubt, but let's not pretend this is where he wanted to be. With that contract, moving him again won't be simple. If Portland thinks they can just flip him for more value, they're playing a dangerous game with limited leverage. And there's a deeper irony here. 2 years ago, Cronin chose